Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, everybody. How are you today? I am Gabriella, and this is GabTalks. Welcome to our next episode. Today, I get to bring to you the awesome Jan Robberts. Hey, how are you today?
I'm very well, Gabriella, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So you and I had a really interesting conversation right before we got started, and I am intrigued by your background and experience, and I think our audience is really going to resonate with what you have to share with us today. So let's go ahead and get started with you telling them what it is that you are an expert in.
Oh, that's a big word, but an expert. I'm an expert in as a leadership coach, and I speak as well, and that really leads to personal development, because I think all leadership starts with personal development. So personal development is a big part of that.
Yeah, I agree. And you and I were talking about that before, and you had a really interesting story that led you to this journey of personal development and brought you to becoming a leadership coach. Will you share with us about your background and your interesting story?
Yeah, that's a great question, Gabriella. It started when I was not even a teenager yet, and I got bullied as a small kid, not for my height, but for my width. And I became the class clown, but the bullying stopped when I was 12 years old, because I grew to 6'4", which I am today. And the bullying stopped by then, but the bullying in between the ears kept going, to the point that I got an ulcer at 16, and at 17 I said, I can't do this no more. I got somebody gave me my first personal development book, and that really gave me a thirst for learning and for learning about me and developing myself. And that is ongoing to this day, more than 4 decades later.
Wow. Yeah, that's very sad and frustrating and impressive that you were able to take all of that and really make that shift and become who you are today. And I think a lot of people have similar struggles. I think a lot of people go through being bullied as a kid.
Yeah, for sure. It's challenging for many, and it's even more challenging for youth today, because when I was younger, I could go and hide in my bedroom. But cyberbullying now, there is no hiding place anymore. And cyberbullying, it's getting worse and worse. And I feel for the youngsters today even more so, because I got through this. You know, I had a loving family as well, and my thirst for development when that came to me. And I think everything comes to us for a reason. And sometimes it's the lessons I needed to learn from that part when I was younger, because I wanted to serve and I wanted to belong. And that stood me well in life, because now I love serving, and I love being around people, and I love impacting lives.
Yep. Same here. I totally resonate with that. So we were talking about influences, and I always ask our guests, because I think what influences us when we're younger or when we're starting out in business really is critical in helping us go down the path that we choose, or sometimes the path is chosen for us, right? So will you share with our audience about your influence?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's influences, but when you ask that now, one of the things that stands out straight away, and that was, I briefly mentioned already, at 17, when I decided that I could not live the rest of my life the way I was doing. And they say that when you shut one door, another one opens, and that door came in the form of a book. Somebody handed me my first personal development book, and it was called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I cannot begin to tell you how much of an influence it had, because to this day, personal development is a daily habit that I've taken on board. And, you know, the journey from being bullied, I think we talked about it as well, how you also had challenges, and it doesn't change overnight, by no means. It's a journey. It might be simple, but it's not easy, but we need to persevere. We need to dedicate ourselves to, and that book really got me started. So I'm thankful to this day for that book.
Yeah, that is a great book. I've read it as well, and I agree. And on its own, it's really, really powerful. And then combined with other books, you can really take things to an amazing level in your own personal development and personal journey.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, I'm an avid reader now as well. And until that point, when I got the book, I had not read another book since I was in school, because I didn't like reading. but I made myself like to read, and it also helped me because I'm Dutch originally. So when we moved to Scotland, and when I was 16 years old, the language barrier was also there, that I needed to read in a different language. And I don't know if you've ever tried that, but that causes problems up here as well. So
Yeah.
it made me learn English a lot better as well, very early on.
Interesting. Hello, hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them.
It's time to take a vacation from processed foods. The ultimate lifestyle transformation kit will upgrade the way you look, feel, and perform, or will give you your money back, guaranteed. By taking a vacation from processed foods, you will detoxify your organs, cleanse your cells, and remove chemicals from your gut. And once you begin to nourish your cells and balance your hormones, you may notice increased energy, lower stress, deeper sleep, heightened mental clarity, improved digestion, and sexy lean muscle. Any of that sound interesting to you? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You already eat every day, and what you eat really matters. This is your chance to upgrade your food, upgrade your health, and upgrade your life.
You've all heard, and you know how powerful it is to send thank you cards, notes of appreciation, and gifts that build and maintain relationships. However, writing and sending generic impersonal greetings and gifts one by one just is so overwhelming and takes so much time. Not to mention, these days, who wants to deal with lines at the post office, running out of stamps, or having to print stamps yourself? And then there's the embarrassment of missing an important date altogether. Yikes. So what can you do? If you go to marketyourbiz.guru, you will be able to get help with your greetings and gifts that are printed, stamped, stuffed, and mailed automatically for you. Make sure that you tell them Gabriella sent you. So let me ask you a question. One of the things we ask all of our guest experts, and I think it's really important because we could have used some really great advice when we were younger, and some of our audience are younger folks that are starting out. Sometimes we have people who are pivoting and changing careers or whatever it is they're doing, and so they're young in their new endeavors. If you could go back and share one piece of advice, what would that be?
Wow, that's a great question. And you know, as you're saying that, there's things going through my head, but if I can pick one right now, it will be, it's actually a quote which really speaks into this. And it says, don't let other people's opinion become your reality. And I say that not because the peer pressure gets to it, especially younger people. I mean, adults have problems with this, but for younger people, the peer pressure is relentless, really. And I think if we can actually, you know, be authentic and start being ourselves and make sure that we're okay, regardless of what other people say to us, it's difficult again. But, you know, when we can learn this at an early age and start developing ourselves, I think, you know, the world will be a better place because not only we are in it, but we can shine the light on others.
Absolutely. And, you know, like you said earlier, leadership of others starts with leadership of ourselves and our own personal development. And I know that that's an area that you coach and guide people in today with your interesting and amazing background. And you're just so impressive to me. I think our audience would love to hear some tips from you that they could go out and take action on right now and implement into their own personal development journey.
Okay, yeah. Again, these are tips I wish I had known earlier on, but with my personal development journey, first of all, I think that we need to realize we can, I call it blame storming. We can blame everybody else, including the cat, the dog, the neighbors, and everybody else for the things that are wrong with us. it doesn't help. And it actually, it does quite the opposite, because we could become more and more negative, because the more we blame other people, the less we can see for ourselves. So first of all, stop blaming other people for the situation you are in. And sometimes it's a tough situation. I've been on situations that even with my personal development, I got onto my knees and I got back up, because on the knees, unless you're praying, it's not the place to be. But I think people ask me, how can I actually, we talk about purpose and destiny and all those wonderful things, but how can I get there? And I think, well, one of the things is, in my opinion, and it talks into leadership as well, of course, in my opinion, the one thing that will get you to step closer to your purpose, because we've all got one, our purpose and our destiny, is personal growth. And personal growth is not a one-day thing or a someday thing, it's an everyday thing. I talk about it as well in intentional living. We need to become more intentional about every day, because face it, we might not be here tomorrow. We only know that we've got today, but we put so much off till tomorrow. So don't put things off until tomorrow that you really should be doing today. That's including telling people you're close to that you love them and you appreciate them. Be grateful. Another thing that is really important is the power of gratitude. We talked earlier on as well about the power of the mind and things like that. And I study that as well. I've also been a martial artist since I was 17, which is all about the power of the mind, Ki Aikido. And you know, when people realize that the power we have got, yet we always look at the negative side and we cannot do something, but we are all more capable than we give ourselves credit for. Now, then we have to say, well, be the change you want to see in the world. That means that we need to develop. We need to constantly grow, and that's an everyday thing. If every day you become 1% better than you were yesterday, tomorrow will be a beauty. And a rabbi once said, if you don't do anything to improve yourself today, what do you need tomorrow for?
Wow, that's a really powerful statement that you ended with there. Will you repeat that? I think that's so powerful. I think our audience needs to hear that again.
A rabbi once said that if you don't do anything today to improve yourself, what do you really need tomorrow for? And it's a great question.
Yeah, that I'm literally, my brain is like going, I'm like wanting to write that down and put it in I have a whole thing right here. It's not a ton of them, but I have a whole thing right here of quotes that I read regularly. That is so powerful. On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello, I'm Dr. Anna Maria Blevin, founder and CEO of Prosperity Pathways, LLC. We get people their jobs of their dreams. We help them start a business or organization, and we even help them along their career pathway. It gives me great pleasure to bring to your attention and honor the hero of the moment, Onward and Upward. Onward and Upward does everything in its power to help those that are homeless, without jobs, without the use of their own computer, get back on their feet. They help people learn what it is that they need to do to get an online job, to get an on-site job. So Onward and Upward is giving a hand up to those that need it. On their website, onwardupwardinc.org. Get in touch with them if you need their help or if you would like to support them. Again, this is Dr. Anna Maria Blevin, founder and CEO of Prosperity Pathways, wishing you a blessed day.
So I think that a lot of people need to have a further conversation with you and really get into the heart of all of this. You really got me there with that, with your tips. That was just really opened up my mind and kind of put me like in this state. And wow, I think a lot of people could benefit from having a further conversation with you themselves. So will you share with us how they can reach you? And you guys, we will make sure those links are in the notes and in the description. You've got to reach out to Jan. Let him know, please.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. You know, especially as an older generation, I got the grips with social media eventually. So you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, especially. those 4 are the main ones that I take part in. So the links will be on, and of course I've got a website as well. But as you said, the links will be down below anyway. But and you see my name already. So if you look for my name, you'll find me.
What is the name of your website?
The website is Key Leadership Institute, KI, which is Japanese for energy and power. So Key Leadership Institute. And I've also got another website. It's called JR Speakers Club.
Nice. Okay, so we will get the links for both of those in the show notes and into the description, so our audience can click on those, reach out to you. And I know that you mentioned that you have an ebook that is free that our audience can get a copy of.
Yes, we have actually. I'm working on another one, but the ebook is called Return on Values. I'm also a values-based leadership specialist, and Return on Values, if you go to the keyleadership.com website, you can download it for free. It's got wonderful case studies and stuff in there that we do, but hopefully it'll also be helpful to some of you.
Absolutely. So you guys make sure you click those links and reach out to Jan. So much great content and such powerful wisdom and leadership that you are going to be able to learn from him directly. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click reminders so that you find out when our next episode is publishing. We look forward to seeing you then. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.